Okay, thank you. Thank you for coming today to this new moon and Lunasa ceremony and also celebrating Sirius and the Sirius Gateway and Lionsgate Portal. And I have my smudging going. I've had it going for, I don't know, 15 or 20 minutes here. And so if you have smudging material with you, please do feel free to do that. Or if you have a candle, I don't know if you can see yeah, you can see the flame just a little. Um, Light a candle if you'd like to do that. Another way of smudging is to use fresh herbs, because I know some people don't like to use the smoke, that it disturbs your lungs, or you're in a small space and you don't want that fire going. I have rosemary and lavender and sage that was picked yesterday from my friend's garden. I don't have enough sun here to grow very many things anymore. The trees have grown so tall. But these are fresh herbs, and so you can cleanse your space with the fresh herbs, as well as burning sage and other herbs, whatever you are called to for cleansing your space. If you don't have any of those smudging things, you might have a rock nearby. This is we're working with Leo fire energy, and those rocks were exposed to high temperatures in order to become the crystals that they are. So there's another way of connecting with fire. And if you don't have any of those, well, put your hand to your heart, because you too are made of fire. The heat in our body is a part of the fire element as well. We are made of fire, earth, air, and water. It's a part of all of us. So as you smudge yourself and your space, or hold the crystal, or put your hand to your heart, um, honor who you are, and remember why you came here to Earth at this specific time. That's our journey, and the purpose of ceremony, as I said just a minute ago, is for each of us to enhance and concretize our commitment to living with love, with gratitude, with compassion, and to embrace the beauty that you see emanating from within yourself. So as we journey with the Divine Feminine, join me with calling the directions, and you can just look at the screen if you'd like, or you can move toward the directions if you know them in your home. So I start in the center, and I say, thank you, Divine Light. Thank you, Divine Feminine. Thank you for flowing in and through this energy. Thank you for being with us as we go into ceremony today. And I turn to the east. And in the east, the sun god in the Celtic line, Lu, and the goddess Anya come to greet us with light, with illumination. And the Egyptian god Ra, and the goddesses of the sun, who are many, Mut, Nut, Isis, even Sekhmet was at one time a goddess of the sun. And they come and entreat us to stand in the illumination as we open our hearts and our minds into the ceremony. And we say thank you. And to the south, the energies of the south, the fires of the south call us to dance. They call us to sing. They call us to vibrate and sway and move with the rhythm of life. The Oranmore of the Celtic line is said to have brought the earth into reality from the vibration of the harmonic tones. And Bridget stands in the south, calling us to express our creativity, to live in joy and laughter. And Hator and Bassett say, come, come, come and dance, come and live, come and laugh, come and be at one in the love. And we say thank you. And I turn to the west. The space between the south and the west is where Lunasa resides, between the summer solstice in the northern hemisphere, the summer solstice, and the fall equinox if you are in the northern hemisphere. And so at the west, I say thank you, ancestors of the west. And Sekhmet and the Morrigan step forward as the black bear leads me into her cave. And I thank you, Black Bear, for holding space for us in your cave. So when we go into the dark night of the soul, we can step into the place of safety with Sekhmet and the Morrigan standing guard at the mouth of the cave. And as we sit in this cave, we listen to our allies and to the ancestors who've gone before us to teach us, to guide us, to fill us with the knowledge that will help us on our pathway. And the black bear pulls us from the cave and takes us by the hand and leads us to the north. And in the north, Ma'at stands with her scales of justice. And there is Danu of the Celtic line, calling us to take our knowledge from the West and transmute it into wisdom consciousness, as they call us to stand up as warriors of the heart, as they call us to step into service for our Mother Earth and for humanity and for all of the beings that are a part of the earth. And we say thank you. Coming full circle back into the center, once again saying thank you to the Divine Feminine. Thank you to Isis who reigns above and Osiris who reigns below. Thank you for the stars and the moon and the planets and the Mother Earth beneath us. Thank you for all that is as we go on our journey today. Aho, Ashi, Amen. Blessed be, Alhamdulillah, and so it is. Welcome, everyone. Oh, welcome, welcome. I'm so very grateful that you've come today. And if you haven't already posted in the chat, please do post where you're from, who you are, and where you're from. I won't be able to speak with everyone today probably, but I'd like to look back and be able to know who was here today. So thank you for coming. What I'd like to start with today, well, let me share my screen and show you, let's see where it is. Move it up. And I hope that you can see that screen. If you can't, wave at me or post in the chat and let me know if you're not able to see that screen. I'm not seeing anyone waving, so hoping that you're okay. So welcome to our new moon ceremony, but it's much, much more than just a new moon ceremony today. This is also the fire ceremony at Lughnasadh. There's the fire that you saw in the beginning if you came in early. So we also have a few other things going on. related to what we're doing today. See if I can close some stuff down. I'm getting a notice that that will help. Let me close this, maybe. And one more thing, and perhaps that will give me a little more bandwidth. Apparently I had too many things open, and there was a delay in the screen, it looks like. So hopefully you are able to see me and hear. The quote that I have for today is from Salma Hayek, that came from the Daily On. People often say that beauty is in the eye of the beholder, and I say that the most liberating thing about beauty is realizing that you are the beholder. You are the beholder of beauty. And we are here today to celebrate the beauty of the moon, the beauty of the fire, the beauty of the stars and the planets. So we see the spirit wheel, and I love this little, this is actually a wall hanging, I guess it's a brass hanging, but it reminds me so much of Lu, the sun god that we honor at Lunasa. And then I see this as my sun goddess, the center of all that is. So what we're talking about with the spirit wheel are the cycles of life. And so we're looking at the moon cycles. That's part of what we're celebrating today. And we're looking at the cross-quarter holy days, because the spirit wheel is the very, it calls us to the alive universe. The universe is all that is here, but so much more than what we can see and feel, but it is all very alive. And it's so easy to forget that the trees are alive, but you can see those changing. It's harder to remember that the rocks are alive. They don't seem to breathe. They don't lose their leaves and grow new ones. They just sit there, don't they? Or do they? Is there a vibration that moves and is continuous with the stones as well? I think there is. So, and part of our cycle of life, in addition to the moon and the earth, we're celebrating Lughnasadh today. In the northern hemisphere, it's between the summer solstice and the autumn equinox. It's the beginning of the harvest season. And in this timeline, we also have the Sirius gateway and Lion's Gate portal. So we'll talk a little about each of those as we go through today. Every year, Sirius, the star out there very near Orion's belt, every year Sirius occurs, it changes. We are able to see it more during that first week of July on our calendar. It's the first week of July. This was a sacred time throughout all of the indigenous, ancient indigenous people. This is a picture of a curbstone at Newgrange in Ireland. And this is supposed to represent Sirius, the star, and this is Orion's belt, which is relatively nearby in our sky. It looks very near. But even as long ago, you know, we have no record of who even built Newgrange. It's 4, 5, 6, 7,000 years old, somewhere in that neighborhood. And also, the Mayans and the Egyptians honored Sirius and the Lion's Gate. So there are many, many, many things. And what was happening with Sirius, as Sirius began to move in the heavens, it was the sign in Egypt that it was time for the Nile to start the flooding. So that was one of the triggers with the Sirius Gateway. So while our earthly sun illuminates our physical world, Sirius, which is regarded as our spiritual sun, Sirius illuminates our etheric world. So in this time in July and August, we have, in the northern hemisphere in particular, we have this great illumination from our physical sun, but then we have all these things happening with Sirius as well. And then there's Lionsgate. So Sirius starts the first week or so of July. Lionsgate occurs somewhere between, the portal opens somewhere between July 28th and August 12th. And so it's coming into play on July 28th, which is today, and our new moon occurred a few hours ago, this afternoon. I think it was one something today, where we moved in fully into the new moon phase. And Lionsgate is not just some new age thing that we've thought up. This is acknowledged in astronomy, in astrology, and in numerology. And it's this alignment between Earth and the star Sirius that we get this powerful increase in energy, in the spiritual realm as well as the physical realm. And then the Lionsgate portal helps us align even further, with the heart center, and so our creativity is open at this point in time. So the fire that you were watching earlier, in fact, I hear that fire still roaring. Let me turn this off so that stops some of the background noise. These are some photographs from that last Lunasa that we had here on the property, and Susan and Debbie, who are in this picture with me, are on the call today. This is the beginning of the harvest season, in that midpoint that I talked about. And it's the feast day for the Celtic sun god Lu. Now, there are some other gods and celebrations in other Celtic places, but I rely primarily on the Irish line. That's where my training is, from my Irish medicine woman. And so I'll refer to all the things I'm talking about are from the Irish tradition. We honor the mother as the harvester, and we honor Lu as the Celtic god of fire and light. So this is a time for us to connect deeply to Mother Earth. And if you're in a place where you can go and stand on the earth tonight, tomorrow, but go and touch the earth if you can. Be with the earth and talk to Mother Earth and let her energies rise up from your feet up through your body. Let that energy come in and flow into you. And these are some other pictures from that same ceremony. As you can see, we had some music. This might have been 2020, actually. I see masks, so I don't remember which year the fire was from, but there we are. And Lunasa is this honoring of the festivities, but it's also a time of thanksgiving. It's the fire festival of celebration had many different aspects when the people would come together. It was a time for hand fasting, which was a way of marrying. It was in the Irish tradition, it was a marriage trial, and they would hand fast at Lucena, and if it was working by the time Beltane came along in May, then they'd finalize it, or they'd say, never mind, not working here. So there was hand fasting. There were all sorts of games, even a time for settling disputes between the different kings of the many provinces in ancient Ireland. And it also was then, and still today, a time to tend the holy wells. to clean them, to do whatever offerings you might want to bring to the holy wells. And a time today, many times make a pilgrimage to Patrick, which is a sacred mountain in Ireland. Now, obviously, Patrick was named after um, Saint Patrick, but long, long, long before Christianity, this was regarded as a sacred mountain, and it's quite a trek to get to the mountaintop. So Lunasa is a time of abundance, as well as a time of sacrifice for what has been sown and what needs to be harvested. So I'd like to do a short meditation with you right now. And as we move into the meditation, think about what you're harvesting and how are you being called to shine in this illumination of the harvest time. And though you're harvesting, what is to be reborn after your harvest? So I would ask you to just put yourself in a comfortable position and just begin to focus on your breathing. If you're comfortable with closing your eyes, that's always helpful too. And bring your hands together, palm to palm, in front of your heart. All of the chakras in your body system also have these chakras in your fingers. And our hands are very active, so they are active centers that help to stimulate the larger ones in our system. So focus on the tips of each one of your fingers, starting with the little fingers, going across the base of your hand to your thumbs, back to your little fingers. Focus on the tips of your ring fingers, the tips of your middle fingers, the tips of your forefingers, the tips of your thumbs, and then open your hands with your palms up and focus at the palms in the middle of your hands. And then bring your hands apart and draw toward you this beautiful, loving energy that we've called into our circle today, and draw it toward your heart and take it all the way through your body and out the back. And sit in this space of meditation and consider for a moment, what have you planted these last months to harvest now as we move toward fall? What are you harvesting? And I'll do a little chanting while you think about your harvesting. So gather in around you what you've harvested. Bring those thoughts toward you. And look at the beauty that you've brought in. And ask all these beautiful things, which of those will help you to shine, to be the light in the darkness? Which of those things call to you, asking you to help the collective, asking you to help raise the consciousness of the beings on this planet? How are you called to do that? And can you look forward to see what is next? What can be reborn? What are you gathering to put into the soil? We plant the bulbs of flowers in the fall and the winter for them to bloom in the spring. What would you like to plant in this time of harvest? And so gently take a slow breath in. Begin to blink your eyes a little bit so you're getting a little light slowly coming in. Bring your hands to your heart or in front of your heart. And then just drag your hands down the front of your body, touching your chest, and drag your hands down to your knees, and then just kind of toss that energy off to Mother Earth as you bring yourself back into the presence of the room that you're in. And if you have a paper or a journal, you might want to jot down anything significant that you think has come to you during this meditation. And I'll do a little more chanting and give you just a minute or so to do that. Happy Lughnasadh to you. And I hope that you have some beautiful things to be planted and some lovely, lovely things that you've harvested. So let's talk a little about the moon. We have a dark moon today in Leo. And the dark moon is a time to balance the elemental fire energy and your shadow work. The dark moon calls us to do the shadow work. The black bear calls us into her cave. I feel like I've been in the black bear's cave for many, many weeks now, and she's finally led me out. It's like it's time to do the moon ceremony. I have to come out of the cave, and I'm so happy that I've had this time to go within into that darkness and really look and pray and ask for the help to lead me through to awaken this next phase, because we are in a challenging time here on planet Earth, not just in the United States, but throughout the world. There's a lot of upheaval socially, politically, health-wise, all sorts of things. And so the dark moon gives us a chance to balance ourselves. And this particular dark moon in Leo asks us to balance the fire energy with the shadow work. This new moon is beautiful. I've read several astrologers' reports on it, and most of them refer to it as a beautiful, wonderful, sweet new moon. It carries the vibration of abundance and joy and creativity. The sun is in Leo and the full moon is in Leo today. So it's the perfect time to pause. It's the perfect time to consider where we're going from here. It's the perfect time to see the beauty all around us rather than the chaos, rather than the pain, rather than all of the things that are happening that we like or don't like. It's time to look at the beauty. It's time to remember who we are and know that there is a purpose with where we're going. So this is a Leo moon, so let's look at Leo for just a moment. This is a sculpture, a picture of a sculpture that's at Brook Green Gardens in South Carolina, where I was this summer. In fact, Susan, who's on this call, Susan and I were there and took photographs, and this is one of the sculptures. So we can use the symbol of Leo to help guide our direction. So walking with Leo the lion, what are the elements that we associate with the lion? This confidence of I am the center of the universe, the lion says. We don't have to be the center of the universe, but we can be confident. We can stand up and be fierce in who we are. It's, as I say when I turn to the north, with Ma'at and Danu calling us to stand up as warriors of the heart. That's the lion energy, standing up as a warrior, as a fierce lion, but standing up for love, for compassion, standing up for caring for one another. So when we shed the superficial, we shed our burdens, and we shed the things that block us from being our true selves, we are truly able to shine. So I'd like to take you on another short journey with the new moon in Leo. And so I'll guide you into a meditation to help you open this time to your intentions. So from the new moon portion, we looked at what you are harvesting, what you're gathering, what you are the results of what you've been doing. Now let's look forward. What are your intentions for this month's cycle between now and the next full moon, and then back around to the next new moon? But also, what are your intentions for this next quarter? You know, I do these moon ceremonies by the Celtic cross-quarter holy days. So the next one will be in 3 more months. So what are your intentions over the moon cycle for the next month and your intentions for the next 3 months? And so just like before, I'll give you some time afterwards to jot down some things that may have come to you during this. So just sit back again and begin paying attention to your breathing. Breath in, breath out. And all those things that come rattling through your brain, what I'm going to have for dinner, what did I do earlier? Put those on a conveyor belt out in front of you. I've turned the conveyor belt on, it's running. Put those thoughts on that conveyor belt. They'll come back around when you need them. Let them go right now. Let them go. Let them go. Let them go. And then bring your hands back up to your heart. Again, touching those fingers together. Just helping to open those chakras in your system and your heart. And then open your hands a little wider and let that heart energy flow in and through you. And ask the ancestors, ask the divine feminine, ask the oneness to guide you as you step into a new space with me. The lion leads us. The lioness is walking in front of us, clearing our pathway so that we can walk down a new path, so that we can walk toward our future with protection, with courage, with strength. And so as you walk this beautiful path with the lioness leading in front of you, ask the ancestors, ask the divine feminine to help you with your intentions, to help increase your intuitive awareness. So if there's this little idea running through your head, capture that thought. Capture that thought. Hold it in your hand and take another step. And reach out to the tree beside you. There's another idea on that branch. Catch that idea and bring it into your heart. And take the other one that's in your hand and bring it into your heart. And the lion is still walking. So you take another step, and another step, and another step. And there's a butterfly coming to land on your hand. She has a message for you too. She flies from your fingers to your shoulder to sit with you. And she whispers another idea for your intentions. And you take another step with the lioness, and another step, and another step. And the lioness has led you through the trees out to the beach. We're standing at the ocean, looking up at the sky, looking up at the night sky with Sirius twinkling, twinkling, twinkling. And in the sky, there's this darkness that has this little rim of light around it. And you realize that's the dark moon with just the barest shadow behind it. And you stand there in front of the ocean with your feet in the sand, with Leo beside you, and you listen to the messages from the moon. Stand in the darkness, standing in the darkness, with your feet going deeper into the sand. And the lion weaves her way around your legs like a cat might do, but she's a lion. And she's taking your hand and guiding you back from the ocean, from the sand. And as you turn, you look back to the moon and say, thank you, dark moon. Thank you for the intuition. Thank you for the memory. Thank you for the guidance. And you follow the lion down the pathway, back through the trees. The butterfly leaves your shoulder. You walk down the pathway, and you find yourself back in your chair, back in your home, back in your house. And so once again, bringing those hands to heart, saying thank you, thank you, thank you. And drag those hands down your chest, across your trunk, across your legs. And once again, toss that to Mother Earth, or even lean over and touch the floor beneath you as you connect with Mother Earth. And then begin to rub your hands together, bringing yourself back into the present place. And begin to blink your eyes again. You might want to stretch a little just to bring yourself into the opening. And take a moment as you come back out of this brief meditation to just jot down some things that came to you, just some major points or bullets so that you can go back later and remind yourself of the things that you saw and heard and felt and became aware of as you went through this journey. The lion is still there with you if you want her. She will stay around for a while. So just let yourself slide back into the present, just making some notes, thinking about what's next for you. What are your intentions? And so I'd love for you to share something from either of these journeys with the full moon or with the Lunasa. If you'd like to do that, just something short if you feel so moved, or you could type it in the chat. And if you haven't already typed in your name where you are, please do put that in the chat so I can look back later and see who was here. Yeah. I'm looking at the names, and I think we have someone here from Serbia, and I know we have some folks from the East Coast and Canada, and there's someone from Washington. Wonderful. Yeah. And the Bay Area, San Francisco. Wonderful. Ah, there's someone from BC. Yeah. Wow. From Etowah. Yeah. Lots of wonderful places and wonderful people. So if you would like to share something, just unmute yourself. And we're a fairly small group, so I think we can do that pretty easily. I see Kathy is unmuted. Go ahead.
Yeah. One thing I felt on the way back out of the woods, I had my hand on the lioness's shoulder, and she was guiding me, and I could feel the ripple of the muscles and the bone and the fur under my hand, and that strength. This is making me tear up. I need that strength right now. I'm going into some serious medical issues that I need the strength and the courage and the bravery. And it came to me through that feeling in my hand on her shoulder that that's something that I can use as a mental image to help me through these times in the next couple of months.
Yeah.
It felt real good.
Good. Yeah, that lion is a strong image. It's very powerful. Yeah. We have a lot of bears in the area where I am, and I love the bears, and they have their own strength. But to me, they're a little more scattered than the lion. The lion is so solid and so powerful, and it's such a strong image. So I'm really grateful that you can take that image with you. Yeah. Anyone else? Yeah, Bonnie.
Yeah, I've been meeting with people in the local school district, and because in the spring there were reasons that things were put on hold, it's easy to get discouraged. And so it's a time for me to realize and shed that discouragement and frustration, and in the meditation, what came was patience and willingness to collaborate with others who are ready and offer a small amount around indigenous material, as we go along. Digestible amounts.
Adjustable amounts. That's good. Yeah. Yeah. Beautiful. Thank you. Yeah. Anyone else? Lynn, yes.
Hello. Sorry, I joined late. I just wanted to add to the lions, the picture of the lion. And I was in Africa in May and early June and saw lots of lions, male and female, and cubs. And what I really, and I've seen them on videos, but not in person. We were in a Jeep. You were out there walking. We could stand by the cheetahs, but not by the lions. Anyway, the lions they elude or give off the sense of strength, like you talked, but the sense of a purpose, and they know what they're doing at all times, and they just are not they're fearless. They're not afraid of anything. They just were so calm, the male and the females. And we saw some year-old, I think, males playing. They're just so playful, and their sense of family. They're together a lot. Well, one place, but in another place, the females were out hunting, and the males do hunt also. I learned that, and but they have a real sense of purpose, and they know what they want. I just got that real strong sense, and nothing can harm them. I mean, something might, but not much can harm them. So that's basically what I wanted to say. And I could have just lived with the lions forever. I saw this one male who was 14. They only lived about 18 or 20. It was in a private game reserve, and he was just so gorgeous. And I just love looking at his eyes. We were only like maybe 10, 15 feet from him.
Oh.
It was so fun. Oh, I'd go back in a heartbeat.
Oh, that's wonderful. Thank you so much for sharing that. Wow. Wow. Anyone else want to share? No one else going to speak up? Ellen, yes.
I always say I don't have anything to say, and then I need to speak. Thank you, Peggy, for this beautiful ceremony in New Moon, and the image of the lioness. Just come off of a 12-hour course with Matthew Fox and Carolyn Meese, and the courage. The courage is needed, both personally. Kathy, I'll hold you in my heart with your prayer, but the personal courage that we're going through, and then the courage that I need to speak up and for me it's to take my place as a leader, and that's always very difficult, but I'm being called to it. And of all the places I go, Peggy, I keep coming back to you because of your heart, your simplicity, and the Celt piece, of course, but it resonates more than anything for me. And when I come, the times I connect, I just feel like I'm coming home, and I'm just holding that. That was one of the seeds. What would that mean, to come home to my, and to not have to read it, to not have to study it, but the way it comes forth from you, because you've traveled there and you've lived it, and you live your daily life in that way. It's just such a beautiful example for me on how to begin to lead in a way that feels authentic. So and I thank everybody for being here. Hi Maggie, it's good to see you, even though I can't see your video. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Yeah. Oh, anyone else want to share? Well, let me release the ancestors, and I'm happy to stay on a little longer, but let's do that before we turn off the recording. And I want to do something a little different. It's called a body prayer, and what I would invite you to join me if you'd like. I'll start in the center, because I always start and end in the center. And then we'll go to which is for this direction for me, we'll go to the north and I'll say some words, and we'll go to the west and I'll say some words. But what I'm going to do, and then the south and the east, but with each one, as we're saying thank you for them coming, I'd like to ask you to hold yourself in the form of a chalice with your arms here or your arms up, whatever is comfortable for you. But we're going to turn to each of the directions to fill our chalice as we thank them for having been here. And we'll let them fill our chalice, and we're going to pour that chalice out onto the earth. And so in your mind, as you tilt your chalice, that energy flows out from the chalice down to the earth and surrounds the planet, pouring it outward to the entire world, to the planet itself. So I start in the center and say thank you to the stars and the moon and the planets and all of the energy that you've sent to us today in this ceremony, but also all of the configurations that mirror what we are doing here on earth. And we thank you for the guidance that we can receive. And we pour this, we lean one direction and pour all this energy from the stars, from the planets, and say thank you. And so I turn to the north, where Ma'at and Danu stand. They have been and will continue to call us to stand up as warriors of the heart. And so we thank you for the wisdom consciousness, the wisdom teachings that you send to us and fill this chalice. And we pour this energy out onto the earth by tilting our chalice over. Thank you for coming. Thank you for being with us this day. And I turn to the west. And in the west, the Morrigan and Sekhmet fill this chalice with introspection. Fill it with the courage and the desire to look within, to hold this energy of the ancestors and look within and remember that we are all connected. And so leaning to the opposite direction from the other, we pour that energy out onto the earth. And we come back and turn halfway between the west and halfway between the north and gather those two energies into our hearts. We thank the ancestors of both directions for being with us today, and we take it into ourselves, and we honor you by bowing to the directions. And we turn to the south, and we open our chalice to the south. And here they come, filling this chalice with joy and love, laughter, compassion, the vibration of music and harmony, filled to the brim, filled and overflowing our chalice. And we say thank you. Thank you for coming today. Thank you for filling the chalice. And we lean and pour it out onto the earth as it pours from our cups and runs and flows and surrounds the earth. And we turn to the east, to the sun, to the illumination, to the awakening. And we thank you for guiding us on our journey today. We thank you for filling this chalice with understanding, with illumination, with guidance on our path, with understanding and gratitude. And we pour this out onto the earth. And we say thank you. And we turn halfway between the south and the east, and we gather this beloved energy into our hearts. And once again, release and lean toward the earth or touch the earth and say thank you. And we come full circle back to the center where we filled our chalice at the beginning. And this is the filling from the earth. From beneath our feet, Mother Earth comes and fills our chalice with her love and her beauty and her joy. And we thank the Mother Earth for being with us this day. We thank the Divine Feminine, the Divine Light. And we pray that this energy go out to all of the planet, and we pour that to the earth. And we gather this into our hearts and once again say thank you, thank you, thank you. Aho, Ashi, Amen. Blessed be, Hamdulillah, and so it is. Thank you everyone. Thank you for coming today.